Wah, 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 wah. Hello there. You may be, wondering where I've been. I've been all around, actually. A lot has happened since we've last chatted. A lot has gone down. It has been almost 4 months. Yeah, my bad. The original idea of the podcast was to do something weekly or bi-weekly, and while it was something I was able to maintain over the summer, it was not something I was able to maintain when school started. And I'm sorry. I would like to let you know that I didn't forget about you guys. I have been still working on the podcast. I have been working on ways to improve, ways to elevate, and I hope that you guys will be able to see that soon. So I am going to start implementing every other week shows or every 2-week shows. That hasn't really been determined yet, but just know that that's coming. We are also going to be making some big changes as far as how you view the show. We have been talking about possibly doing a video podcast. So actually, syncing it up to some video, so that way if there are some of you who would rather watch instead of listen solely, you'll have that option now. So please let me know if that is something you guys would care to see. It is something we're going to be working on very soon. It's kind of hard to think. I don't remember the last episode that was posted because I recorded several episodes, but they are just in the vault now. I would record them and I would feel really good about them, and then I just would not be able to edit them before the next quote-unquote deadline I placed for myself, and so they would just kind of fall farther and farther behind on the recording software I was using in the history. So, hi everyone. My name is Joanna, if you forgot. I am a 19-year-old college student based in Eastern North Carolina. I have a dog and 4 cats. And I am in a amazing relationship. And I have such an amazing support system. The last we left off with you guys, I was in the process of moving, I think. And it was right around Austin and I's 6-month anniversary, I believe, is the last time an episode was released. Sorry, if you hear that, scrounging in the background, Luna is trying to get comfortable on top of the couch. Not on her beanbag chair or her bed, but on top of the couch. So that's how we're feeling today. But we have a lot to talk about, my friends. So let's start with what I remember last. Moving. Moving sucked. It was very exciting, but it sucked. Moving sucks. And I got very lucky because Austin, my boyfriend, he was able to be off during that time. And so he was able to really handle the good majority of it by himself. With help of our roommates. We moved in with his brother and one of our best friends. And so I live with 3 boys, and it's so funny. It is so nice to be living with guys who actually care about my well-being, and they all love me. We all have really great relationships, and so I'm very lucky to be in the situation I am. But while we were moving, I had band camp. So I wasn't able to move in with everyone. I kind of had to just pack my stuff up, unload as much as I could on the day of actual move-in, and then I had to go back to camp. So I was gone for 12 hours a day. Like, it was rough. And then directly after that, school started. And about a week into school, I had the opportunity with the marching band that I'm in to go to the Bank of America Stadium in Charlotte, North Carolina, and perform a halftime show at the Duke's Mayo Classic. I can't remember if it's Classic or Clinic, but I think it's a Classic. And where we teamed up with App State and did a combined halftime show, which was really nice and really cool. And I met some great people there. After that, it didn't stop. Everything kept going full speed ahead. And I got lost in the sauce, I'm not gonna lie. It just feels like a picture book with everything that's been going on. Everybody has grown so much. I've grown as a person. Austin and I have grown as a couple. Our dog has gotten so big. Luna has gotten so big since you guys last heard or saw her. Our cats are so big. Our cats are humongous now. They're cats. They're not kittens anymore. They're cats. Everybody's doing so good. We are doing so good. And, last time you guys heard, I was starting camp. I was healthy. I was happy. And everything was planned. I was stressed, but I was happy and healthy. Some things have changed. I'm still happy. I am relatively healthy. I did find out about a month ago now, that some pain I've been living with for a few years now has gone from early onset to chronic. And that's been kind of hard to hear and understand. Roughly when I was in junior year of high school, I was having some pain in my back from an injury I sustained freshman year. And after I was able to move out of my biological mother's house, I was finally able to speak freely about how I felt, and I was able to go see a doctor. And that doctor looked at me, and it looked like I had scoliosis. So they sent me to get an MRI, and found out that I had early onset degenerative disc disease, which is basically arthritis of your spinal discs in your back. So that was a few years ago. And roughly around September, I was having, unbearable pain. It was really hard to walk. It was really hard to sleep. And when it got really cold here in eastern North Carolina, it would be really hard for me to get out of bed. So after, finally taking the step to pursue some more medical attention 4 years later, I found out that I now have chronic degenerative disc disease at the age of 19. With the progression rate of a 30-year-old. Now it's kind of heavy to hear, and to say back to myself, because there's not a lot they can do for me. With it being that I'm 19, and that it's severe for my age, but it's not to the point where they can do something now. Because they tell you, once you get one back surgery, you have to, it's just like a chain reaction. You'd have to keep getting more and more and more. So thankfully I'm not to that level yet. But with that being said, there's not many options as for care. It's pretty much try to do more physical therapy that I know doesn't work for me. Go to a chiropractor, which I know probably won't work for me. Or start the journey of opioids and, stuff like that at 19, which isn't very nice to think about either. So I talked to my doctor, and we've decided that we're gonna, we were gonna do an MRI first. So I went to an original doctor. He's a spinal specialist. I went to the Triangle area in Raleigh, and went to see the spinal surgeon, and he said there was nothing he could do. Just considering since I've had it for 4 years, it's a chronic illness now. It's not something he could handle. It's not something he could help or act on. He just wasn't in his realm, basically. So he sent me to pain management, and pain management is kind of stereotyped as where you go to get medication, and that's not something that I wanted. I don't necessarily want medication, just because I'd like to find ways to treat this, that isn't medicated, but, medication may be my option, but we'll see. And we talked and we decided that, I don't want to be on any, narcotics, opioids, or anything like that as of now. So we're going to do everything we can. We are going to be working on, well, it was supposed to be an MRI first. And then from there, we would see what happened with the MRI. Since it's been 4 years since I've had an MRI, and obviously some things have changed, so it needs to be updated. But for some reason, pesky insurance my insurance company is refusing to clear an MRI. Why? I don't know. But they're insisting that I go see a chiropractor for 6 weeks before I can even schedule an MRI, before I can even go see my doctor again. So the frustration is setting in, because it's hard when I felt so close to getting an answer, just to find out that I need to go see somebody that more than likely is not going to be able to help me. Because basically what this, chronic illness is where, in my spine, in my lower lumbar, there's, the disc in your back that, keep your back, mobility pretty good. And so basically it's not just bone, crushing bone and grinding on bone. Well, mine are withering away. The one in my lower back is withering away, and it's just making it lopsided and compressed. And it's very uncomfortable. And my back is very compressed, and it feels like there's a lot of uncomfortable pressure on it. And that's just something that I struggle with daily now. And so, as you can imagine, this has put not a hurdling stop, but it has put a stop on a few things that I've been working on. For example, marching band. I was pulled from the season right around Halloween, which is something I never thought would happen. It got to the point where I couldn't physically stand and play anymore without being in excruciating pain. And it was a type of pain that only adrenaline could take away from me. And once the adrenaline was gone, it just felt like I'd been socked in the face. It was really hard. And for the longest time, it really hurt me that, I was having to be taken out of this. Something that I worked hard and pushed and wanted so bad. But I have to realize that my health comes first. And that's been very hard as somebody who hates asking for help, hates, wanting help. I had to step in and, stand up for myself and basically say, I can't do this anymore. And that really sucks, because I absolutely love what I do, and I do everything that I can because I love it so much. So what this means for me, because, it's still a class I'm in. Marching band is still a class. I've just done what I can. I've just supported, the drum line in any way possible. And, I've just done my best to just still be there with everyone and to, be helpful, even though I can't play anymore. My new position, quote unquote, is a tech. I just find it really funny because I don't know what I'm doing. And I feel like that is the theme of my life right now. I am 19. I'm a baby adult. Starting out, I live with, two of my closest friends and my boyfriend and our animals. And I realized that I was laying on my couch today, and I realized that I am who little Joe needed. When little Joe was crying herself to sleep, worrying if she would ever make it anywhere, if she would ever be able, oh my god, my dryer is so freaking loud, If little Joe would ever be able to make it out of her abusive house, make it out of the toxic realm and the toxic cycle she was in. And I realized I've done it. And I realized that although to me right now, it doesn't feel like I've done it. I sit back sometimes and I kind of, I really wonder, or I really, kind of remember where I was before I was able to get out of that. And before I started going to therapy, my therapist is super nice. He always is very helpful, It's kind of, I realize it's his job to be helpful, but he's super helpful. I remember when I first started going to him, that I was just rambling and kind of spiraling. And I was like, oh, I'm sorry, I probably shouldn't have said all that, it's too much. And he just looks at me and he goes, nothing that comes to your mind is ever too much in a situation. If you feel that it needs to be said, somehow or another it needs to be said. And that's okay. And that's kind of how I lived. That's kind of how I live right now. A lot of things are changing in my life. An organization I thought I would be in for the entirety of my college days may not happen anymore. Marching band has been a, kind of safety blanket of mine. And I've met amazing people through it. I've met some of my closest friends and one of my best friends in that organization. And so thinking of saying goodbye really does hurt me. But I know that my friends love me and support me for everything. And so that's really nice to know that my friends have my back in that way. Yeah. A lot's happened, guys. And this isn't to make anybody sad or, have a pity party for me, but just to say that, like, we all go through so much and we're so strong. And it's so hard to kind of sit sometimes and kind of remember how strong we are. And I'm kind of spiraling now. But yeah, I also have amazing news. I actually just got done last week teching my first main stage production at ECU. Which sounds very cool because it is super cool. I was able to be a run crew tech in the ECU Playhouse's 2021 season production of Head Over Heels, which if you have not seen Head Over Heels, it is an amazing musical. It's a hilarious musical. It is super funny, it's super witty. I'm not going to spoil it, but it's a lot of love triangles. Or not, I wouldn't say love triangles, but relationships. It is a very good musical. I loved it, and I loved working on it. All the cast was super nice, and always wanted to talk. They were always so sweet. But yeah, actually how I got thrown into that was very crazy. I, as a theater minor, I have a few classes I'm required to take every semester. And one of my professors came up to me and she was like, Joe, I need your help. And I'm like, yeah, what's up? She was just telling me that they needed help. And I was like, oh, I'd love to help you, but, I don't think I can because I have all these conflicts. And she was like, no, we need you. We need help. And I'm like, all right, let's do it. And so for 7 to 10 days straight, I was on campus like 16 hours between, driving the bus, going to my classes, teching, and then I'd come home and Austin, my boyfriend, would be so amazing. He'd always make me dinner and, wash my clothes if I needed it, or, he'd help me stay up to do my homework, and really such an amazing guy. I never would have imagined myself here. I never would have imagined myself coming back to theater in college. But I did. And it's been so nice to kind of have that breath of fresh air of, a big production company that this place is. ECU has so many different departments in their School of Theater and Dance. They have your design and production, which I am, which consists of set painting, set construction, lighting and sound and costuming. And within those, there are so many other subcategories that they all have. But it's just so amazing because you have, 5, 6, 7, amazing professors who actually care about you and actually want to know how you're doing. And I remember right when I was supposed to go to the doctor, I was having, some problems in my legs. My legs were going numb. It was scary. And I was talking to my professor and I was trying to keep calm, but I just broke down. And when she asked me what was wrong, that's what, that's what hits, when somebody says, hey, what's wrong? Are you okay? That's when I break. And this wonderful woman just looked at me and she was like, what can I do to help you? And I was like, well, I have an exam to study for, but I'll study for that after this, blah, 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 blah. Like, I'm just really stressed out and stuff like that. My body hurts. Like, I haven't been able to go to my doctor yet. And she just looks at me. She goes, please go home. Go home. Get some rest. Like, when do you go see your doctor? What can I do for you? And it's been so nice to have that support system because, in high school, I didn't really have that. In high school, I had 2 teachers, or I would say a few teachers who really cared. But, I felt like I had to maybe sometimes kind of tiptoe around them because, when you're in high school, you're still minors. And so anything can be reported, as it should. I should preface with as it should. But sometimes it was just kind of hard because half the time if you got reported, you'd have to go to a counselor, and the counselors, bless their heart, they didn't really care. And the school therapist, didn't really care either. Like, they cared, but it was just kind of like, oh, another kid to, at least that's how it felt for me. I just felt like I was just another number, and it was really hard for me to feel that I wasn't a burden to those teachers, I still love the handful of teachers that I have them either on Facebook or I have them, I text them. And they're all very helpful and very loving. But it's nice to be in college to where, they treat you as an adult and they genuinely care about you because they know that you're an adult. They know that you're a baby adult. And half the time, you're away from your family and they have families and they have kids of their own. And so they really take you in and treat you like, their kid. And so I've been very, lucky to have those kind of instructors who do that, for me at least. And I know everybody's college experience is different, but I've been very lucky that this second year, with COVID and everything, we've still been able to create those bonds with my teachers. I will say it was very weird. While working on ECU's production, the cast did a maskless show. And the way that they did that was they had to get COVID tested. But before that, during rehearsals, they wore masks all throughout rehearsals. All basically up until opening night. But they had to be present, even the understudies had to be present for 100% of the rehearsals, could not leave early, could not come late. And they had to get COVID tested every other week during rehearsals. I think this part could be wrong. And then the intimate cast members, I should say, the ones that kiss in the show, they had to get rapid tested before every show. And I think some of the other cast did too. I think everybody had to get tested at the beginning of the week, but if they were if they shared a kissing scene, they had to do it every other day. Or every day before the show. And so it was very emotional for these, these cast members, as it should. A lot of them, it's been their first show since 2019 that they haven't worn a mask. And for some of them, it's been the first musical they've done since 2019. And so a lot of emotions were going around that opening night. And it made me very excited to be back in a theater, a live theater. I got chills when I first heard the audience laugh. It has been so long since I've sat in a theater. And granted, I was backstage, I was in the wings. But I got chills listening to that crowd laugh and to see the smile and see actors' faces and, people I had met with their mask on. So, I'd never seen their faces before. And that's weird to say, but I'd never seen their faces before. And so some of them are so sweet. And so it was very nice to see that and to kind of, help them experience that by, reminding them and keeping them safe by, doing everything I could. Like having masks backstage for whenever they get off stage, to put one on, and keeping hand sanitizer, cough drops, everything that the, stage managers had backstage. But a really positive experience for my first show back, and it's so nice. It definitely was something that I missed, and it was a validating point for me, because when I came to college, I was a bio major and didn't want to touch theater, because I had just, I just didn't think it was for me. Just had some experiences in high school, and it didn't feel like it was for me. And then I get to college my sophomore year, and I was like, well, I'll add it as a minor. I do miss it, and working on the shows is one thing. Working on the shows in class is one thing. So part of my minor is working on the shows in class. So I'll be painting a set piece in class, or I'll be sewing a costume piece in class. But to be backstage and be a part of the show just validated everything that I was doing. With that being said, I have amazing news for everyone. I will have to flesh it out in greater detail later. But I just completed an internship. I actually got my announcement today saying that I passed my boards test. I had an internship with WZMB, which is the ECU's radio station on campus. It's a student-run station. And I don't know if you guys can't tell, but I kind of like to talk. And so one thing that I really wanted to do when I got to college, and, when I declared this communication major with broadcasting was my intention, I wanted to broadcast, I wanted to be on the radio. So, with that being said, I passed my internship, which means in January, February, or roughly over winter break, January, I will be starting, hopefully, the employment process with the school's radio station, and hopefully soon, in a few months, I'll be on the radio. Which is so weird to think about, and to actually know that I've done it. The small victories I'm really trying to credit myself for is like the small things, because I am an amazing person, and I'm so lucky to have the support system I do, but I'm also so fucking proud of myself. Like, I've pushed and pushed and pushed, and sometimes pushed past my breaking point. But it was for stuff that I knew I wanted. And, I'm just very thankful to have the support that I do to help me pursue and to gain everything. I'm a very lucky person. But yeah, I passed my internship, which is crazy to think about. Oh my gosh, my phone won't stop going off today. I'm popular? No, it's just a group chat. But yeah, everything's going very well for me here. Everything's been going great. I keep rambling, but let's do what we do best, guys. Let's look up some dad jokes. I hope everybody is doing well. It's been so long since I've talked to everyone. Dad jokes. Give me Twitter. Dad jokes on Twitter. Wonderful. This is all. Alright, guys. No. What is going on? Alright, guys. Also, I'm sorry if you can hear my dryer in the background or my washer in the background. I am in the process of, getting everything switched around for the podcast, and we're in the process of reorganizing our room to better fit my desk in the podcasting stuff. And so I am recording in my living room, in my washer and dryer in my kitchen. Or it's in like a little closet in my kitchen. So You can probably hear it on the spin cycle right now. Oh my god. No. Can't do that. Alright. When I die, I want my ashes placed into an hourglass for my family, so they can check on me time after time. What kind of doctor is Dr. Pepper? He's a physician. I told my doctor yoga is the best antidepressant available. Sounds like a little bit of a stretch to me, he replied. I got my COVID test today. It says 50. What does that mean? Also, I got my IQ test back. It was positive. Okay, I don't really know how I feel about these today. Any Hoosers. Well, I did this podcast a little bit different. I didn't really have all of the little segments we normally have. So let me know if you guys like that. I know I have a few people who listen to all the episodes and kind of give me some feedback, so please continue to do that. It really excites me when I know that people listen and people, respond. It is so nice to have people respond and listen. So please let me know what you guys think. Let me know if there's anything you guys want me to talk about. We have a lot of stuff coming up. As I'm recording this, it is the day before Thanksgiving. And so hopefully this will be out, or the weekend. We'll see. But yeah, I just really hope you guys are excited I'm back. And I can't wait to, share and show you guys all the new things that we're going to be working on for the podcast. But, just want to remind you guys are all amazing, and, it's all hard, but we got this. So, and with that being said, I'm not Jack in a Box. I'm just a girl outside the box. I'll see you guys later. Bye.